Hi there, how are you doing? In this video, we'll try to understand what are all different data types whose data sizes can be altered, and we'll also try to look at in case if we can change the data type of a column from number to character or character to number or character to date or date to character, something as such, right? Let's also try to see what errors do we encounter and how do we resolve it in case if it is possible, right? So here are different scenarios I have listed down. If you're looking at the first thing is like, is it possible to convert data type from number to char? So what we are trying to do is like we have a data column whose data type is number and it has some data, and we are trying to convert it to the character or variable character data type, and is it permitted or not, right? So let's really create a test table, insert a couple of records, and then try to test it out, right? So I'll say that create table data type test of id1 char underscore call. Let's say that varchar 2 of 10, and then char underscore call 2, and then we'll say that variable character 2 of 10. Let's give it 11 just for an example. And then we'll have dob, and then we'll have it as date, right? So let's quickly create this, and I'll just give it as character column 1. All right, now the table has been created, and let's insert a couple of records before we start testing all the scenarios, right? So data underscore type underscore test values, and then first one is 1, and then let's say that abc, and then here let's say that defghi, and then we'll say that sysdate to insert the data, and then commit it. So now here we'll make it as 1, and then here also 1, and we'll change the id to 2 just for an example, and commit it. All right, now select star from data underscore type underscore test, and if you look at now we have a couple of records, right? So what is the first scenario we're trying to achieve over here? Is it possible to convert data type from number to character, right? So let's try to do it. So how do we alter the data type? So the syntax is like alter table, and what is the table name? Data underscore type underscore test. And then what are we trying to do here? We are trying to modify the data type or data size. So we have to use modify, right? Alter table data type test, modify, and then what are we trying to do? Which column are we trying to modify, right? In this case, I want to modify the column ID1, and what is the data type I'm trying to change it to? Right now, it is number data type, and I'm trying to change it to character data type. So I would say that varchar 2 of 10, just for an example. I want to increase this number value up to 10 digits, right? And then I'm trying to execute, let's say. So what does it say? Column to be modified must be empty to change data type, which means that it's not letting us to change the data type from number to varchar, right? All right, let's try it other way in case if it is accepted to change it to character, right? And same case here, it is saying that column to be modified must be empty to change the data type. That means when we try to change the data type from number to the character or variable character, it is not permitting because we have the data which always may not be qualified to fit into the character data type. That's what it is assuming, at least for now, right? So let's actually try this table, before truncating, let's try it other option. Can we increase the data size of this number data type? So earlier we have given it as number, which means that it takes up to 38 comma 0, 38 comma 16, which means that 22 digits precision and 16 digit scale is what maximum it can take up to. Now I would like to change it to take it only 10 digits, and I would say that number of 10 comma 0. Ideally, we are reducing the data size here from 22 digits of precision to 10 digits of precision. Let's try. So what does it say? Column to be modified must be empty to precision or scale. So once again, it doesn't know whether values that are already existing will be it to store it within precision, and that is the reason it is throwing error, which means that technically if we want to change the data type from number to any other data type, or if we want to decrease of a number data type, then it has to be empty first place. That means that the table should not have any data, right? Or at least the column should not have any data. um, let's try to increase it, but there is nothing beyond really that we can increase. So what I'll do is I'll just make it as number of 38 comma 0, and then I'll try to run it, and still it gives us the same error, right? So nowhere it is going to permit us. That's fine. Now let's try with the variable character data types, right? What do we have? We have char underscore call1, whose data type is character, and let's try to increase it first place. Alter table data underscore type underscore test, modify char underscore column1, and I would like to change it to 20 characters, and let's see what happens now. So it has been successfully altered. And how do we check this whether it has been altered successfully or not? We can quickly go to select star from user underscore tab underscore calls, where table underscore name equal to, and I'm giving the table name in uppercase because, as you know, the table names are always stored in uppercase. Here it is, data underscore type underscore test. This is my table name, right? And if you look at this column, character underscore column on column name, and the data length has been successfully increased to 20, right? Now let's try to change it and reduce it to 5 characters and see. And now it says that cannot decrease the column length because some value is too big. It says that there is an existing value which is bigger uh, characters, but let's see what it is, right? Let's quickly query this, and then we can see that char underscore column1, uh, 3 characters here, and here we have 4 characters, but it says that it has more than 5 characters. That is because the character data type already reserved 10 characters worth of memory. That means that it is assuming there is 10 characters at least, and hence it is not able to decrease it, right? It makes sense. Now what we'll do is, let's try to change the data type from character to variable character and see whether it works or not, right? So alter table data underscore type underscore test, modify char underscore call1, and I would say that where 5, just for an example, and oh, and it says that cannot decrease the column length because some value is too big. Once again, existing column size is like 10, and that means that it has already reserved 10 characters worth of space or memory. It is not letting us to decrease it to 5 characters, right? So how do we do it? Let's try to check it with the 10 characters itself whether this will allow or not to change it from character to variable character to, basically. And still we're getting the same error. Let's try slightly change it a different way. We'll change it to 11 characters and then give it a try. It is still giving, and if we give it as 11 characters, oops, it is still giving the same error. Ideally, we are giving more number of characters and more memory, in fact, but it is still not letting us to change. So let me just character of 10, uh, take um, bytes. So, and I'm actually giving it more here technically. Let's change it slightly. I'll give it as 41 bytes, and we'll get to 40 bytes. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Now it has changed. So the reason why I have given 41 bytes explicitly is because existing data size was 10 here, right? Just bring it down. And if we look at, so uh, characters into 4 bytes each, that is 40 bytes worth of space it has reserved, right? And how much of the size I was giving all this while varchar to of 11, that means it was only taking 11 bytes by default. Now I have given it as 41 bytes, Ideally it has 40 bytes, but I have given it as 41 bytes just to check it out, and it worked. Now let us change it to 40 and give it a try. And in fact, even this is also working out, right? But if I change it to 39, it may not work. Let's try this out now. It still worked. Maybe because we have already changed it to variable character 2, that means it would have released all the memory, right? So what we'll do is, just to test this scenario once again, alter table user underscore tab underscore calls add char underscore call 2, right? I would say that char of uh, sorry, this is data underscore type underscore test, and we already have 2, we need to add 3. All right, now we have added new one, right? So what I'll do is alter table data underscore type underscore test, and I'll modify it char underscore call 3, and this time what I will do is variable character 2 of 40, right? Or I'll give it as 10 characters this time. So from character data type, I'm switching it to the 10 characters is what maximum can be accommodated. And let's try it now. And if you see, this has changed. So this is the difference. Earlier, we were just giving variable character 2, and then I mentioned it is 10 or 11. That means that it takes by default in the bytes format. However, each character it is reserving up to 4 bytes. So that means that for a data type with size of 10 char of 10, it is reserving 40 bytes, but I was only giving 11 bytes, which cannot be accommodated, and that is the reason we were getting error. Now, because we have given it as 10 characters, it is going to reserve 40 characters worth of memory. But because this is variable character 2, it is not going to reserve the memory, but it can accommodate up to 40 bytes or 10 characters worth of length, right? So that means that we can change the data type from char data type to variable character 2 data type successfully, as long as we can match the I mean the stores like character, or we should be giving enough number of bytes to store it. Now let us check in case if we can store uh, the numbers into the character data, uh, the character data type into the number data type, right? So what I'll do it, and then use underscore. I think actually this is not needed. Yeah, what I'll do is insert into code type underscore test of, and I'll insert third row, and then I'll say ABC2, and here DFGH2, and then what do we have? Date of birth is date, and just keep it. And then the last one, what we have newly added is char underscore call 3. For this, I will insert it as 1. Now let's try it. Yes. So if I select the data, select star from data underscore type underscore test, we can see that in this column, we only have one value, which is the, and rest all the fields are having like null values. Now I have to convert the data type from variable character to the number data type, right? So alter table data underscore type underscore test type. We are trying to char underscore call 3 number, right? Now let's just execute that in modify, and once again we're getting the same error. Column to be modified must be empty to change the data type. That means that we are not able to successfully modify the data type from variable character to the number data. So we have seen different scenarios now. Converting from character to variable character supported, and then increasing the data size was supported, but decreasing the data size in case if the data type was character was not supported. And then we were not able to convert from number data type to the character or variable character data type, and we are the data size. We were not able to convert from character data type to variable character without specifying the storage type as character instead of bytes, or we should be giving total number, I mean the length of the other column into 4, which gives us like total bytes that have been reserved for each field. And the same amount of length we have to give it when we are changing it from character to variable character to data type, right? So there is something which we haven't tested now, like to not the last one actually. So but from date to variable character data type, right? Let's try it out. Alter table data type test modify, and I'll say DOB variable character 2 of 20, right? And I'll say cat 20 characters it can take. That's okay. Once again, I'm getting the same error. We cannot modify data type to the variable character to data type, right? And the last thing what we'll try to do here is we'll try to increase the data size of variable character to data. Alter table char underscore alter table data underscore type underscore test modify char underscore column 2, which is by default like variable character to data type I have given, and I'll say that varchar 2 of 5. So I'm trying to store only 5 characters, right? 5 bytes in fact. And let's see. Once again, same issue. It is not letting us to uh, decrease now because some value is too big, and I'm working with character. So let's quickly check the data type here. What we have. This is varchar, yes, and the data length is 11, which means that 11 bytes is what we have given. Now we are changing it to 5, and we already have, yes, right. So here if we look at, right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, we already have 7 characters in this particular field. However, we are trying to reduce it to the 5 characters, and obviously it cannot be accommodated, and that's why it is throwing an error, right? So what we can do in this case is like we can reduce it to 8. Earlier we had 11, now we are reducing it to 8, and it should be accommodated, and obviously it should succeed. Let's see. Bingo, it has been solved, right? Now, if we run this once again, we can see that it has been successfully increased to 8. All right, so now let's try to increase it on the same context. I would like to change it from 8 to 15, and then I can run it, and then we can check it once again, and we can see here, right? It has been changed. So now we looked at what are different possibilities to increase or decrease the data size, and whether it is supported to convert the data type from one data type to another data type of a given column, which is an existing one. Always be cautious while adding any data type and want to change the data type, and if it is not permitted, then we will end up adding a new column to the table, and then setting up the values from the existing column to the new column, and then drop the old column. That's how we can do it. We'll look at it later on. And that's all for now. Have a good day. Bye bye.